What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got another edition of The Drive-In where I watch recently released films and tell you guys whether they're worth watching, worth waiting for, or worth skipping altogether. Today I'm doing one that I almost waited for. It came out about 3 weeks ago. It's taken me a while to see it. Finally, I got a chance to go see it today, and I had to cut a review on it because I really enjoyed the experience overall. It's my first movie in theaters of 2026 now. I did it again. 2026. Go to your local theaters. Support your theaters. Support the movies in theaters. Get the full experience. Support the cast and crew. Get those guys paid. Get more good movies made. Don't settle for streaming. Don't settle for these corporate buyouts and Netflix and all the things that are going on. That's my spiel. But I saw 2025's The Housemaid. I was looking forward to this. I've never read the book. I know it's based on a book by Freida McFadden. It's taken the world by storm lately, so everybody was excited to see this. I saw the cast and I saw the director, and I said, I recognize the director of this, and I recognize all three of the main core cast. The trailer looks very good. I have to go see this in theaters, and I did. This was written by Rebecca Sonnenschein. The script was. And she's done a lot of stuff like The Boys recently. She's produced and written for The Boys. She produced and wrote for Vampire Diaries. Freida McFadden has a series of books out. This is her most popular right now. She's the one that wrote the book that the screenplay was based on. And it's directed by Paul Feig, who is really finding his way in this subgenre. He's known for the Simple Favor and the Simple Favor sequel, another Simple Favor, that came out in the last couple of years. Those are really fun, windy, twisty mysteries, character-based, very twisty, mysterious, multi-layered mysteries with a lot of twists and turns. And he's also got a few Christmas films out as well, but he's kind of getting known for these book-based, twisty franchises. And as I record this, it was just announced a few hours ago that the Housemaid sequel has been greenlit. So that's not a spoiler. It's on the internet. It's everywhere now. But this film's going to get a sequel, and I won't talk about who may come back or might not come back because I'm going to do this review spoiler free. I know it's 3 or so weeks old, but some of you guys might not have seen it yet, so I'm going to give you guys this review spoiler free. Directed by Paul Feig, starring Sydney Sweeney as Millie, Amanda Seyfried as Nina, and Brandon Sklenner as Andrew. And I was looking going, where is Brandon Sklenner from? Because I recognize that face, but he's the only one that I can't automatically just pull his credits out from myself naturally. And he's from Drop. He was the main guy, the date in Drop, which I really enjoyed. And basically, spoiler free, the kind of general pros behind this is that you have Amanda Seyfried's character Millie, and she has just recently gotten out of jail. She has some clear mysteries in her past as well, and she is trying to stave off going back to jail and keep her parole eligible by finding a job and getting on her feet. And she finds an opportunity to become a housemaid for this couple, Nina and Andrew, played by Seyfried and Sklenner, respectively. And so she kind of gets an opportunity for this nanny position, or this, I'm sorry, not nanny, but like housemaid position. And right away, things are too good to be true. Right away, she can tell, there's no way I'm going to get this interview. I didn't do a good job. I'm not going to land this job. And she gets a call back from Seyfried's character, and right away, Millie now gets to be a live-in housemaid with this beautiful couple that's got this big, luxurious, spacious mansion, and things are too good to be true. And of course, they are as things go on. I'll just say that every character has a lot of layers and a lot of moments of not so proud of themselves and moments of passion, moments of intrigue and mystery. And right away, you know that none of these characters are necessarily playing with a full deck, and they all have something to their past that is worth digging into. Number one, starting with positives here, the acting is great. It's a big cast in general. Not really a big cast in general, pretty small. But the main three, the core three here, Sydney, Amanda, and Brendan, are excellent. These guys are great. All three of these characters, you can argue that they all kind of are the stars of the film. Each one of them gets their own time to shine as the movie goes on. I could argue that this is the kind of biggest coming out party, not in her career, but for this movie, I think Amanda Seyfried gets to do the most in this. But this is the kind of movie that, because everyone has so many different things going on, mentally, physically, they're just going through a lot, and they're just having a lot of tension in this house right away you can tell this picturesque mansion is not going to be as easy of a job for Sydney Sweeney as she thinks it's going to be. And so right away you can see that all the main characters have a lot of things to play from. And as the twists go on, because there are a lot of twists in this movie, and I won't spoil them, but as the twists go on, it reveals more layers of each main character. Each character gets to do more with themselves as we find out what makes them tick. As we get to know their secrets and get to know their reasonings, you see more and more layers and more range from all of these actors. And again, while I could say that Amanda Seyfried gets to do the most, that is not discounting the journey and the battles that Sydney Sweeney and Brandon Sklenar go through here. Millie, Nina, and Andrew are a pretty twisted web in general, and we get to see them go through a range of emotions. Again, we see, picturesque, we see backstabbing, we see lies, we see anger, we see sadness, we see, heightened emotions, tension. It's really, really well done, and they chose a great cast of a bunch of, already made stars. I can't even say rising stars, but these three really killed it. The chemistry and the acting are both there immediately. And again, that credit to the writing for giving the actors so much to do, because good actors can't save a bad script and vice versa. So they gave them a good script as well. Pacing on this was very, very good. This movie is 2 hours and 11 minutes. And I saw the runtime and I went, why do we have to make this 2 hours and 11 minutes? This seems like a pretty simple story. And right away, in the first couple shots of the film, we see our main protagonist, or main character, I should say, that we first meet at the start of the film, ending up at their destination, going right to their journey. We follow Sydney Sweeney, who's top billed, going to the couple's house. And we're like, well, this is already kicking off in the first 30 seconds here. How are we going to go 2 hours and 11 minutes? And they managed to do a great job of it. This thing is paced frenetically. I mean, there's moments of, letting tension build and things like that, but the pace hits you right away. You know where you're going. You understand who all these characters are pretty quickly. You understand what the stakes are for these characters, why this character needs the job, why this couple doesn't work, all the things that are going into this. And they keep the pace going entirely, the entire time. We are telling a story with every scene. It feels to me like this is a very tight script. And usually I can look at these over 2 hour movies and I come on here and tell you that it would be better served by 15 to 35 minutes taken out of the script. I can't tell you. I'm sure if I sat down and watched it again and nitpicked, I could pick out certain scenes or certain moments and shorten them and cut them out. But generally speaking, I didn't feel any of this 2 hours, 11 minutes. I was very comfortable. I was enjoying. I was immersed. I was not looking at my watch. I was sitting in the theater. I don't have a watch, by the way. I have a phone. But sitting in the theater, I was just really enjoying all of these characters and what they were going through. And they didn't have much time to lag. Everything was character building. It was both I don't want to say slow burn, but it was both a movie that builds the characters and lets you have them spend time together and let you grow with them and kind of follow what they're doing. But also it didn't feel like any of it was needless or dragged on. Every scene had a purpose. Every bond had a moment. Every actor had a chance to shine. Every twist fit into the next twist. Very well done on all of that. Character layers is my next positive. That goes right into it. Tension. There's some genuine moments of fear in this movie. It's not a horror film, and I've seen people put it on their best of horror videos, which I'll be doing my best of 2025 horror, my top 10, pretty soon here. I've got my list. I'm just waiting to put it in order properly, or at least the honorable mentions. This is not a horror for me. This is definitely a thriller drama, definitely heavy on the thriller for sure. Mystery, maybe even. But yeah, this overall is very tense, and there are some moments of like, oh wow, there's some really, the acting and the way they shot certain things really kind of gives you a nice little jump scare and really has you waiting on pins and needles for certain characters to step over the breaking point. All of these characters kind of come to a head at certain points, and you can tell they're about to snap and things are about to get escalated, and you're waiting for that moment to happen, and when it does, it's always satisfying. So good tension and good pacing. Pain/gore. I can't get into this one too much because while there's not an exponential amount of gore, they don't just throw it in for no reason. But the moments they do have characters going through pain, it feels real. They do a nice job, whether it's sound design, whether it's the jump scare, whether it's the gore itself. They do a nice job making you feel like these characters are going through pain. Everything feels... there's just like those moments of the ick where you want to look away. There's one moment in particular that I was watching the screen and kind of peeking away and kind of hoping they didn't show a certain moment in the way they were going to show it. And they really didn't. They didn't linger on it too much. But there was one moment that even I was kind of like, oh, I don't want to see this shown on screen. So in case they go to a close-up, I have to look away. So really good moments of using the pain and using the blood when they had to really make a point. And I feel like every time they do it, it's satisfying. Twists. This thing is very twisty. And while we'll talk about that in my negatives too, I like, again, that Paul Feig is really well-founded in these mystery, twisty, kind of part romance, part horror, part thriller, part drama, part comedy in some ways in the way the characters relate to each other. There's not much funny about this movie or even about Simple Favor, but he does these dark mystery thrillers very, very well, and I want to see him do more of these. He was the right choice for this. And again, you couldn't ask for 3 better actors to lead these twists and make them feel real. My 2 negatives here are kind of one and the same. They run parallel to each other. One of my negatives here is obvious route. They did something with one of the twists, then went into a very obvious place. And I said to myself when I was watching it, this is probably going to be what it is, but I'm also suspecting other possible things. I had multiple different possibilities in my head, and this was one of them. I guessed one of the possibilities for the kind of third act of the movie, and I was right about one of my guesses. And it feels like it's the same way that a lot of modern stories are going. I feel like a lot of times when you're looking for scapegoats, or you're looking for reasonings, or you're looking for character affectations to make you justify a reaction, they kind of go this same way. And again, I sound very vague right now. I don't want to spoil anything, so I can't give any specifics. So it's hard to dial into what I'm talking about. But I will say that I think that one of the character choices winds up going a little bit too obvious for me. They could have done something a little different. That being said, the actors pulling off the twists and the way they went about it was still very well done. I just wish they hadn't gone to such an obvious place that I think a lot of modern storytelling is going, especially in this genre. The other negative kind of goes along with it is that implausibility becomes a factor in this. When we get to the final 15 minutes, there are a couple things that you're like, that character wouldn't do that. There has to be a lot of things to align for that to happen. Oh, that just happened to happen this way. And I know that it's a movie and you suspend disbelief, and I was able to, and it didn't take me out of it. But I do think there were several moments in the last 15 minutes that while the endings and twists and everything were satisfying, they still did a couple of things that I was like, there's a lot of stars have to align for this to be a possibility. This part could have been fleshed out a little bit differently to make it more plausible. But that being said, in spite of some of the things being obvious and some of the twists and things being implausible, I still had a great time with this. I was jostling back and forth between 7.5 out of 10 and 8 out of 10. I decided to go with an 8 out of 10. Again, for a movie that's over 2 hours, this was a really good time. And I think I am a sucker for these kind of dark dramas. I love dark relationship things. I love character building. I love relationship building. I love twists when they're done well. So they executed those things pretty well. And while there could have been a few more things either explained to get to their plausibility or to have taken one step a little less obvious, that being said, it's a great cast. It's well directed. It's a nice location they chose. There's really good moments of tension. The acting is powerful. The chemistry, pacing, and acting are completely on point. So if you like stuff like this, if you like what I'm describing, then this is right in your wheelhouse. The Housemaid is definitely for you if you like mystery, tense thrillers that are kind of part Lifetime, part romance, part mystery, part thriller. You're going to be into this. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Tell me in the comments down below if you've seen it, what you thought of it. If you have seen it as well, what do you think of the idea of a sequel coming out? I don't know if you've read the books or not. I think there's more than one book, so I'm not surprised that we're getting a sequel. But if you've read the books, let's talk about those down below. If you want to or don't want to see a sequel, let's talk about that down below. If you guys want to talk spoilers, we can talk spoilers. Just be courteous in the comments by posting your spoiler warning first. And then if you want to see a spoiler video where I dive more deeply into what I thought about some of the twists and kind of get into the actual meaning of what they are. Let's talk about that as well. Please like, share, and subscribe these deep dives. If you want to see more films being reviewed on this channel, let me know some ideas of what you want to see. Obviously, we're about 6 weeks away from Scream 7. I cannot wait for the new Scream. I'm doing that one, obviously. If there's any other ones you'd like to see, please let me know down in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.